Hero Time starts now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special edition of RV Talks, live here on RV TV. How we all doing, everybody?
I had to listen to that voice for a full fucking week.
Oh, fuck you too, asshole.
Every morning.
Oh, fuck you. Anyway, I'm the Shades. Of course, you hear Matty J, the cackling bastard over there. And Spade will hopefully be joining us later. He's a little busy right now taking care of some stuff, but he should be in soon. But as you can see by the lovely logo there, tonight we have one topic and one topic only. That is Awesome Games Done Quick 2020 taking place in Orlando, Florida. Cheap pup. Which we did actually get some of those this week. We did get some people doing cheap pops. Mainly, I believe it was Greg Pooh Bear. That being said, now, song request is turned on. However, I'm going to ask a favor of you guys tonight. Small one, nothing too big. Keep your song request to video game music. There's plenty of that on YouTube. Not hard to find. Stick to that. Because we're talking games all night long. Let's keep on topic, shall we? And then that, you're good to go.
Stay on topic.
But yes. Hello, London Cheesehead. Oh, you're new. I don't think I've seen you around before. Welcome to the party, my friend. Anyway.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah. So yeah, we're talking AGDQ. For those of you, most of you know what AGDQ is. Week-long charity event where speedrunners from all over the world come together, play games, and raise money. Of course, AGDQ raises money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation, a charity that I personally support given my history with things like that. So this was a big deal for me, not only as a fan of games, but a big supporter of preventing cancer, because I've lost many family members to that kind of thing. So
as did I.
Yeah, so this was a big deal for me. But it was an amazing week, and I'm sure for those who have not heard, the final total for AGDQ 2020,
read that beautiful bean footage.
$3.13 million.
A new record.
Yes, we witnessed history in the making once again, and we got to see it live as it happened. We were cheering for it before you guys even saw it on the stream. First question from Crystal. No, we have not learned where next year's AGDQ will take place. We know when, but we don't know where.
Yeah, we know when. January 3rd to the 10th? No, 11th.
Somewhere around that time. Yeah, that's generally the time frame I saw. So yeah, January 3rd for the 11th, but they did not announce where. Now, the rumor mill is that they are planning on coming back to Florida, and I talked with many of the staff at GDQ, and a couple of them did say that did hint, and I say subtly hint, that they're looking to come back to Florida, but nothing confirmed. I want to stress that.
Yeah.
It is purely speculation and rumor.
Speculation and rumor at this point.
Yeah, nothing is official. I don't want to be considered a source for anything. I don't want GDQ hounding me or banning me because I said something that wasn't true. So right now it is simply a rumor, but nothing has been confirmed. But that being said, that is next year. Let us talk about this year. Because that is what we're here for.
Say, if you will.
Yeah. And so it was the three of us that went, though we did run into a couple of our our Metrocon buddies over the week as well. Several of them were there as throughout the week, so we got to say hi to a few friends. And of course, we got to meet some amazing speedrunners, many of which I've worked with personally over at Speed Gaming. I've done commentary with several of these people. I've been part of their communities, so getting to meet them for the first time was insane. And later on, you will see just how involved how connected I got this last week. I've got something a little special planned for that. But let's talk about the venue itself. This took place at the Doubletree Inn in Orlando, Florida, right across from Universal Studios. It was a massive hotel. Like, seriously, this thing is huge.
Huge convention center, actually.
Yeah, 2 giant hotel towers for all the rooms. And then off to the side, there was the convention hall itself where the event actually took place. I almost forgot to set up one little thing. Let me setting this up on the fly.
But yeah, while you do that, huge sets that are basically 2 massive halls. Of course, the stream room, which held, I think, upwards of 3,000 plus people, which, they had 3,000 badges plus the runners. Club runners, staff, volunteers, all that stuff. So, big freaking room. And the bigger room was the practice room / tournament room. It was like literally 2 rooms full of CRT monitors and LCD monitors, modern monitors, TVs, and video games for all to see.
I'm actually going to be showing that here in just a minute. Once I get everything set up, and I just realized that is showing on stream. Give me a sec to fix that here. There we go. I'm trying to get everything in order. By the way, I did a
little bit of testing, so if I was sounding cutting off, I was actually testing out a couple of things, and
you're fine.
On my end, and John, the thing works. So
all right,
I'm good to go. I was just waiting for the chat to light up. But they had like a tournament room, and then they have, of course, a casual room if you want. Of course, a practice room for all the runners.
All right, let's instead of just Maddie, I'd like to stop you there for a reason. Instead of just telling them, sure, let us show them, because I got pictures. So we're gonna start things off with the largest, one of the largest rooms in the whole area. This is the main hall that you see here in the convention hall. It is a very massive room. There's 2 different sides to it, which we'll take a closer look at here. And there was also 3 smaller rooms. Now, the only room I didn't take a picture of is the Smash Brothers room. There was an entire room. It's actually located on the left side there in the back. You can see it right next to the Yeti booth. There was a room dedicated exclusively to playing Smash Brothers. You'd bring in your own consoles and you could play against each other. There was monitors all over the place. It was really cool. But this is where the majority of the attendees were at throughout the convention, throughout the event. If they were not in the stream room itself, this is probably where they were hiding. Now, to go into bigger detail, we're going to first go to... I need to set this... Oh, I don't have this set up right. God damn it. I got to do this. I had to set up hotkeys, ladies and gentlemen, on the fly. Because live streaming is awesome.
Whoop.
So I'm just gonna set.
Yeah, but they have like the big main room and the three rooms. Yep. You saw the first room with the Smash Bros. Because there's always going to be like the one group. Where's the TV for the Smash Bros? You got plenty of them over there. Thank you.
Yep. Now off to the right over there, you see is the practice area. This is where a lot of runners, whether it be actual GDQ runners or just regular speed runners in general, were going to practice their runs. And there were some casual games in there as well, but there was another room for that. But most of the time here, it was all speed run practicing. And you can see there's a lot of people already there. They actually had World 9 Gaming there as well to help loan out consoles to anyone who needed it. You pretty much had to bring your own games.
Yeah, if you had your own game, you can use it, or if they have like a library of games, mostly of those that were on feature at the event were the important ones, obviously.
Yeah, the ones that the runners would need to practice.
Yeah. But if you had your own game or your own EverDrive / flash card, your SD to SNES card, you could use that as well. Well, you just it was bring your own cart in that case.
Yeah.
The process was pretty simple. I actually got to borrow a couple of consoles, of course, the NES with that wonderful favorite game of mine, Super Mario Brothers 3, which I only got to play a grand total of 10 minutes, thanks to my discovering in the casual room of Spike Vegeta did a rando. He was playing Ocarina Time Randomizer. They were doing a co-op race. I got to witness about a little bit over half of it until I had to run.
Yeah. Speaking of the casual room, I think we'll get to that here in a second. Let's see. Oh, wrong one. Next, actually, there it is right here. This is the casual room. It's a little smaller. It's a bit smaller. It's probably about maybe half to a third the size of the practice room. But here, no speed running needed. You could play whatever you wanted for fun. Just play some games, and just
if
have
you want
some
a race, you can have a race. If you just wanted to play a game by your lonesome, fine. If you wanted to play Guitar Hero, there was a little corner for all the rhythm guitar games.
Yeah, if you look towards the left there, right behind the window, or right in front of the window, kind of blinded by the light there was basically an area for, musical rhythm games. Oh, hi, Siberian Ball in the chat. One of our fellow friends and attendees at GDQ. He was there.
And one of the guys who got to discover how awesome Super Saiyan was.
Oh yeah, he joined us for a Super Saiyan run. If you've ever been to Orlando, Super Saiyan, a very nice ramen shop out there, right near the hotel. So that was fun. But yeah, so this was a casual room. We had a lot of, I walked around in there. I didn't play any games myself in this room. But don't worry, I did have some gaming time. I'll get to that here in a little bit.
Oh, we all got.
We will get to that. We will get to that.
Oh boy. We surprisingly had very little console gaming time, but we'll get to how much gaming we got though.
Yeah,
Good
but
boy.
There was a lot of people playing Pokemon Sword and Shield, especially over on the left side there. There's a lot of that going on. A lot of casual randomizer runs and stuff like that. But speaking of randomizers, I did it again. We have the tournament and randomizer section. This was on the other side of the practice room. They had tournaments for a whole bunch of different games, and they also were setting up different randomizers throughout the event. You can see it's pretty much set up similar to the practice area. Some people were using it for practicing when things weren't too busy. But yeah, there was a lot of randomizers going on here, including a Link to the Past randomizer. There was a Link to the Past randomizer race going on in there. I unfortunately did not get to participate in or even do anything with, but it was fun to see. So there was a lot of tournaments. I didn't get a chance to watch any of the tournaments, unfortunately, because I was, again, way too busy. And, if I wanted to sit down and watch people play games, I'd go into the stream room. But we'll get to that in a little bit. So, but this was still a lot of fun. A lot of interesting things going on with that. Anyway, and then, okay, that's a little crooked. Sorry for the sideways orientation, but where you see my hopping ass at is the main stream room. Whenever you are watching the stream on Twitch, this is the room it's taking place at. You can see the monitors behind me. It was a huge room. Actually, the stream does not do it justice. How big this room actually is.
At all. Basically, from where you come in, it's center stage is obviously center stage with the row of 4 CRT monitors, 4 LCD monitors at one time. They are, when I walked in the day before with Ace, he can confirm this a little later. They were setting up all the TVs and the audio and everything else. And they had 4 TVs and a computer with a monitor for the PC gaming portion.
Yeah, I'm actually going to see if I can set up one last thing here.
And so when you sit down in the center, you got a view of the center stage with the couches and the TV. Of course, on either side, these massive screens which had the projection of the stream itself.
So let's see if I can fade this in here real quick. This is what the stream room looks like. This guy took some footage of it. You can see we got the interview section there on the right. There's the main gameplay section there in the front. You can see the two couches. The front couch is the commentator's couch, and then there's a back couch, which if runners had a priority for anyone that wants to join them that can't commentate, they put them there. Otherwise, it's free reign, and you'll see how that comes into play.
Basically, if there wasn't any priority or anyone invited to that couldn't make it to the main couch, they got the backup couch. Otherwise, it was first come, first serve.
Yeah. But you can see here on this, and in between the interview room and the stream, the interview section of the streams and the actual game section, there's basically the producer section. This is where the production team is running the stream and setting everything up, all the graphics.
For you behind the scenes TV nerds, basically they're controls.
They're controllers. That's the best way to describe it. Yeah, they're controllers. And then off to the very left, on the other side of the gameplay section, is the host desk. That was where you always have that guy, the people who are reading the donations and making the announcements. That was their desk. They had a monitor there where they could read donations and stuff like that. And people could, that's where everyone had fun.
I believe the setup was they had a monitor for the stream feed so they could see what's going on. A monitor with statistics from what I saw. And the laptop, the middle one, their Chromebook is where I think they got most of their donations.
Yeah.
Yes, but most of the time you don't get the double deal.
If you ever wondered how it exactly looks, that's the they want him in view of the runner because the runners will often have to check with the host to see about incentives, whether or not they've been met, or what won bid wars and things like that. So that was where that type of thing. So, and again, if you ever watch the stream and you see how much of the audience you can see, I'll be honest, you saw a third of the audience at any given time at most.
Yeah. Like especially during the break streams, they would have like a third. The camera would be centered like third the center aisle.
Yes, but most of the time you don't get the double deal.
Our left, camera right. At sometimes to show the other color faces, otherwise to show off just to try to limit the meaning. Yeah, good luck with that, boys. Good luck. Good luck with that, boys and girls.
Yeah, seriously.
Now again, there is something called double deal.
I want you to work with us.
Just above the timer in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a 33.75%
or Dance Dad, or Flappy Head, or Sporadic, aka the Flappy Hacker.
Which is the speed up and move on to the next floor. Yes, but most of the time you don't get the double deal on Caves 1. You're really hitting it.
Crazy.
And most rounds you'll hit it on basement 2.
Turns out I knew who Dance Dad was. I've worked with Dance Dad.
We both know.
So as you can see now, the math is up to 67.5%.
That's like a trip.
Yeah, we were sitting front row during one of the runs, and we see one of our buddies, we see Dance Dad, and it wasn't until I started seeing him dancing around, and I would comment him like, oh, dude, you're having fun. I'm like, yeah, I'm Dance Dad, I gotta do my thing. And I'm like, wait, what? For those who don't know, Dance Dad is actually on Twitter and on Discord as Wolfman2000. He is a commentator and a big member of Randomania and the speaking community. So, you most likely will find him in the Zelda 1 randomizer community. He's very big there, but he does work with some other communities as well, as Maddie points out. Very well-known guy. So that kind of blew my mind because I've worked with Wolfman in the past on many occasions, especially during the Zelda 1 commentary. So if you want, to look him up, go follow him on Twitter. Again, Wolfman2000, not hard to find. And in fact, he tagged me during a particular run that I will get to later. He actually got video of me during one of the runs because, spoiler alert, I was on the backup couch for one run, which I will get to in a bit.
So Marcus is going to make it to his, I believe, Caves 1 boss right now. Now again, there is something
we'll get that when we get to that point, but, yep.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize the audio had the audio from the video was playing, so I muted that. But yeah, there was a lot going on in the stream room. Now, there is one other room that I have, actually, hold on, let me make sure there's no other images. Oh yeah, the board game room. This, I felt bad because this was literally on the complete opposite side of the convention hall. You literally had to go, like, if you came from any of the other rooms, you'd have to go around the corner, past the registration desk, to the exact opposite side of the stream room to find the board game room. It was off in its own little section over there, just kind of isolated from everything else. But you could see there was quite a number of board games. Oh, I only had the one image? I could have sworn I had more than that. Oh, fuck me.
I think the reason why they put it there, I other than maybe they ran out of rooms, because it is the board game room, and they want it to be a more quieter place, I would assume.
Yeah.
That would be my little theory.
Yeah. I actually have like 6 images of the board game room, but for some reason they are not displaying just the one. So, but yeah, there was a ton of board games there.
We verified to make sure we made sure to inform the monk of this, and for those wondering, yes, he was slightly jelly,
to say the least. But there is one other room that I have not talked about, and that is the room that.
Tell them about that room we spent a full day in.
Oh yes, oh yes. So, when you're at a gaming convention, you know there's going to be some games to play. There was an arcade. I forget the name of the pinball company that came, but there was a pinball group that brought a whole bunch.
I believe the pinball room, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the pinball room loaned out several. I think it was like 9 or 10 pinball machines to play, and they actually had to change a couple of them out because they broke down.
One or two out because of malfunctions.
I don't have images of those, but there was another group that brought games to it called Tokyo Attack. And they had a few regular arcade games. They had a Neo Geo machine. They had Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Area 51. They had F-Zero.
Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, Crazy Taxi, F-Zero, the arcade game, which was a lot of fun because the F-Zero machine, and I think I have an image of that, which we'll see later. The F-Zero machine actually moved. If you were able to hook up the seatbelt, it would actually move as you drove. Like, it would tilt in the direction you were turning, and it was crazy. I actually was able to pull it off one time. Though, that seatbelt was tight as shit. It is not meant for big people like us.
Right?
I barely got the fucking thing on. But I did it.
Same here. By the way, next year I will be able to do it because I am still back on that Weight Watchers grind. But
the big thing that Tokyo Attack brought were rhythm games, as you will see right here.
Hey, don't forget the other racing game I was on.
Oh yeah, the Initial D one. I haven't gotten images of that, but I'm not sure.
The Initial D Arcade Zero. I spent the majority of my time in that arcade room on that booth. I'm not gonna lie. But the cool part about that is that if you just play it regularly, it's just the first race of the quote unquote story or a time attack, whatever. And it's what it is. It's a racing game. But they have a thing where if you buy a card for $10 from Tokyo Attack, you could actually progress in the story. So I got myself a card for got to level 22.
All right, change the files out real quick. So first up of the games that I did get images for is Channel Bishibashi, which was a minigame fest, and good God, that game was a bitch. Basically,
you're kidding me.
You had the 2 red and blue buttons in the front, and you had the big green button, which was also a dial that you could turn and spin. And good God, did it make you spin that thing for all it's worth? And you had to complete a series of mini games throughout to raise your to basically raise the popularity of your group until you eventually reach the end. It was a very simple thing, but it was a bitch completing some of those mini games, to say the least. But we did it. Or at least I did it. I did one when I did it. Pulled it off. But next up, we have a rhythm game called Shunitham. And this ended up becoming my personal favorite game of the lot. Like, I think between this and one other game we'll get to later, I spent the majority of my time in this arcade room playing this and one other game. Basically, how it works is there's basically like this piano board. It's just a little piano-style touchpad that you move your hands around. You can tap it, or you can drag your fingers across to drag along to the beat of the songs. And if you're an anime fan, a Toho fan, or a Vocaloid fan, you are in heaven playing these fucking games. Because there was so many, and this one in particular, two of them, had a ton of my favorite anime songs. It had Toradora, Kobayashi, it had freaking Persona songs on it. It had, one of my favorite Toho songs, Bad Apple, on it. There was just so many good songs for me to play. The only reason I didn't just stay at that machine forever is that there was actually quite the line most of the time, especially during the prime hours. You were lucky to find time at that machine because everyone was playing it. Now, the other cool thing is that white bar there on the side is actually a sensor. And there's one on each side. Because you don't just drag your hands across it, you actually are required to lift your hands up and pseudo-slam them down. Lift them up and down to carry the beat. So you had to keep an eye on when you had to lift your hands up from time to time, and that was fun. Keeping track of that. It was interesting to say the least. But it was a lot of fun. And you can see up close. This is how it looks like up close. You can see the sensor there on the right side. That set of lights there. That's the sensor section. And again, you can tap that yellow bar or drag across it to create different songs. Of course, in Japan, they actually have like a game pass that you can use to save your stats and stuff, but obviously that was disabled here. Even if you had such a pass, it doesn't work. So you kind of had to go without. But it was still a lot of fun to play, and if you ever see this machine at a convention, give it a shot. You will have a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
All right, next up, we have... actually, what was the name of this one again? Dance Rush Stardom. Oh, and I just screwed that up.
Is it the one with, like, the floor made of lights?
Yes! I did not touch this game!
Me neither. I was being pulled towards the light, and nope.
Yeah,
my knees went nope.
Yeah, my legs. I was already hurting from walking. There was no way I was playing this. So basically, how this works is one, as you can see, you actually had to take your shoes off for this, and they regularly had people coming in and cleaning off this pad because a lot of people with dirty socks stepping on this thing. But basically, yeah, it detects what feet are which, and you have to move your feet according to the music. And again, just like Chunitham, you have to drag your feet across. You don't just step on things. You have to drag your feet across to be able to register the notes. And it can get quite crazy, and you can also have times where you have to bend down for it to register, so it detects when you're bending down, and it can register that. And good God, this shit got crazy. You thought DDR was insane? This game is nuts. Like you can see here. And the dance, as you can see, the dance pad lights up in all kinds of crazy colors. So it was just a laser light show in form of a dance game. And if you find videos of this game again, Dance Rush Stardom, you will see just how insane this game gets. But
let's put it this way: make sure you're limber.
Yeah. Make sure you are very nimble. Get your stretches for this one, because it's crazy. Now, speaking of DDR, what Rhythm Game collection would be complete without a DDR machine?
I mean, come on.
It's DDR. You gotta have DDR. Oh, and I did it again. I tried to set something up, and it resets every time I try to check something. There we go. I'm just gonna pull up something on the side here so I don't lose track. Because I'm gonna keep doing that otherwise. But yeah, DDR machine, again, even though I've played DDR, did not touch this machine because I knew my legs would not survive. By Wednesday, my legs were already killing me. There was no way I was playing this fucking thing. No way in hell. But I will say this: it did inspire me to pull up an old PC version that I have played in the past. Anyone ever heard of Step Mania?
I
recently re-downloaded that and added a whole bunch of songs. I might consider streaming that in the future if you guys are interested. It'll be keyboard style, not pad style, but it'll still be fun. Now
Your fingers are gonna kill you.
But speaking of that F-Zero machine we talked about earlier. Oh, what the hell? This time it wasn't even my fault. Why is it not showing all the files? Now I'm getting pissed. It's seriously not showing all the files. It's literally going... It's only going to that one... Alright, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to do this the right way. I'm going to delete these other files... Remove these other files from the list. There. Now it has to show this file. There's the F-Zero machine. You can see, like I said, you sit in it, you strap yourselves in, and it will move with you. It will only work if you are... if the seatbelt is plugged in. It will detect that, and if it's not there, if it's not plugged in, it will be like, nope, can't, it's going to stay locked. But it was fun to do when I finally got it to work. So, simple there. Next up, well, this was actually just outside the arcade room, but they had a Gundam game! Gundam Versus. I forget which one of the franchise, which part of that series it was. But you can kind of see, oh good God. If you have a PlayStation controller, please bring that with you if you go to this machine.
Yeah, do that.
Because the controls on this game were, well, finicky, to say the least.
I played it one time on the stick, and that was it.
Yeah. Bring a PlayStation controller if you have a feeling this game's going to be in your local convention, because otherwise you will get your ass kicked. The game was as hard as balls. But I had some fun. I actually did win quite a few matches when I worked with another player who was about as good at the game as I was, and we played a couple other guys, and we actually did pretty good with it. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Gundam Extreme versus Maxi Boost. That's the one.
That's the one.
So, it was a lot of fun. They had a ton of Gundams, and you only had a limited time to pick a character, so you couldn't even take the time to just look through the lineup and see what character or what Gundams were available. You had to rush to pick your character, which, with how many characters there are in this game, kind of a bitch!
Kind of a dick move.
Yeah. But once you got the hang of it, it was a lot of fun. I played the PSP game, so this one wasn't too bad for me, but yeah. Anyway, moving on from there. Next, we have Jubest. This is an interesting rhythm game. As you can see, instead of a giant screen, all of the little, there's a little screen at the top, and then every one of the 4x4, every one of the 24 buttons down below it were all mini screens. They basically, you saw the notes to hit light up on the buttons, and you had to press the button in time with the music. This game was not exactly easy. Even on the lighter difficulties, I easily got lost trying to figure out what button I was supposed to hit. But there was a few good songs on there, and I enjoyed myself a little bit. Just not quite my favorite of the bunch. And we'll get a closer look here. You can see the buttons lighting up and the guy hitting them in time, and it was kind of cool, but not my favorite. No, my other favorite was actually this game, My Finale. Now, how this game worked was you had two ways to play. The screen was a touch screen, and you could tap the edges of the screen where the circles will fall in place to hit them. And sometimes you had to do that because there were certain ones you had to drag across the screen in order to register. So you kind of had to do that. But the easier way to do it was the giant ring. you can see the lights on the outside of the ring are actually buttons that you can press. So you can press those inside of the music to hit most of the notes. And other than that, it was basically a handheld DDR machine. Again, good selection of songs, quite a few. Actually, a whole select. If you're a Sega fan, there was a lot of good songs on there because they had Sonic, Phantasy Star, and a few others in there. Plus, they had a couple Persona songs and a decent amount of anime songs. So you had a good selection there. And this was probably the one I got to. Between this and Chinithm, these are the two I went to the most. I'm gonna get a little closer look here. You can see the game in action here. You could see the buttons coming down. This one was tricky though because, oh good God, My Finale. Yes, game fan, that's it. My Finale. But you know, and you can pick from a selection of cute characters, but they really didn't do anything. I think if you have like a Game Pass and can play the full game, they do stuff. But in this game, they were just like cute characters to voice as for a couple of songs. You were limited. Some games you were limited to 2 songs before you had to switch out to somebody else, and some were 3 songs.
Yeah. They had all I know is I want that initial D machine.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I actually got that images of that one. So I apologize for that, Natty.
Well,
I got as much as I could.
I think I might have taken a picture of that. Let me double check.
Well, it's too late now. I've already got all this set up. I'm not going through the trouble of fixing this, especially now that I've got the others working. Then, oh, and yep, there it goes again. Son of a bitch. But they had 2 initial D racing games. Yeah, it reset again, so I'm gonna have to delete everything except the last 2 images. It's down to the last 2, and it decides to fuck up again. Lastly, we had Sound Vortex. This game is fucking confusing. So, here's how this one works. It's basically a remix rhythm game. You had the 4 buttons in the front that were just your basics DDR style. Hit the button or hold it down to keep the music playing. Then you had 2 buttons on below that did odd effects depending on which one was required to hit, and it added like some kind of odd effect. I can't even begin to describe them because I'm not an audiophile. In fact, let me see if I can get a closer look here. You can see 2 buttons at the back, and then you had these 2 volume knobs on the left and right side. And whenever those came into play, they would change the volume of the audio in different ways. And sometimes you had to follow the track as you were turning the knob to turn the knob while following the track. And then sometimes you would have to literally go from one side of the track to the other in a second. And sometimes when you did that, it would literally cause the entire track to spin. And it was nuts. It was fucking insane trying to keep up with that shit. But again, good selection of songs, but it was probably the hardest machine to use. Like, of all of them, this was the one for experts only, in my opinion. Even on the lower difficulties, come prepared.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the arcade room in a nutshell. And that was generally the entire convention hall. Now, thankfully, the
you had your Yeti booth if you want to get one. For those who pre-order your T-shirts, your hoodies, or whatever, so you could pick them up there. And they had extra merch in case you had that inkling of, hey, let's spend some money.
Yeah, they had some stuff
otherwise,
from Press GDQs.
they had the Prevent Cancer Foundation had a booth right next to the registration booth. They gave out free stuff all week. They had sunglasses, water bottles, and
lip balm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump ahead.
No, you were right where I was going to go anyway. You're fine. But yeah, they had water bottles, sunglasses, sweatbands, and lip balm. And if you followed the Prevent Cancer Foundation on Twitter and showed it to them, they also gave you this cute little Switch pin that they had, Nintendo Switch design pin that they had. And I did get one of those. I don't have a picture of it, but it was nice looking. And what was even cuter is one of the ambassadors, one of the people who recently started working for PCF, is actually a gamer herself, Puzzle Pete. And I actually had a good chance to talk with her for quite a while during the event. And she gave me a nice little necklace that I was able to give to Jaina, so I didn't come home empty-handed.
No, you got home with a lot of stuff and with some stuff and a lot of memories.
Oh yeah. And speaking of memories,
actually, speaking of the booth, they had a poster, which was
yes.
the intention was to build it like a. Sorry, didn't mean to.
No, you're good. Yeah, they had what looked like a Tetris board, and they were asking people to write down the names of those who were affected by cancer, whether it be people who survived or people who unfortunately didn't. And I actually did put a few names on that board myself. So it was, yeah.
They had a poster, which was built as like a Tetris wall with all the blocks made of stickers, and those stickers, you could put the name of someone of a loved one or a friend who was affected by cancer. I myself put 2 stickers as both my both my grandfathers, both sides, were affected by cancer. One passed away of cancer. The other was affected. Part of his how he got his diabetes, or how his diabetes got for lack of a better word, worse, I guess you could say, was through cancer. So
yeah. And I also put down not only my grandparents who also died of cancers of different varieties, but my mom, who recently survived skin cancer. And when I showed her the picture of me putting those names on the board, her and my aunts were like very happy to see me do that. So that was a bit of a touching moment for me to be able to do that. It's the little things, just showing them that you actually care and that you aren't ignoring them. But of course, the real reason you come to GDQ, aside from the stream itself, is the speedrunners. There are so many amazing speedrunners, and to show you how awesome they are, this is the last slideshow I'm going to do, and I'm just going to let this run for the rest of the stream, because it is the most essential. I got selfies with just about everybody. Like, it was crazy. Man, I was trying to get this to reset, but it's not working for me specifically.
It is giving you the hard time tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let it pop up here. Let me just fade this in. There we go. Actually, it started right where I want to start off with Dance Dad. And yes, Siberian, I've got you in here. And I actually put the names of everyone on here so you can see who all these runners are. If you don't know who they are, look them up on Twitch. Hopefully, most of them have their names right. But these are you've got either other people who either staff at GDQ or are speedrunners themselves. And so many amazing people. Like, seriously, everyone I talked to at GDQ was absolutely phenomenal.
And that's one thing I will be doing next year, is just walking up to people saying hello a lot more the way you did it, in a sense.
Yeah.
I think Ace and I were focused on just, making the runs.
Yeah. And I want to share this because first of all, I want to dispel a lot of the dissidents that a lot of people have at GDQ, because GDQ has had a notorious reputation of banning people for different reasons and pushing agendas and stuff like that. And this year it had a little bit of that. One of the big things was that they had pronouns on both the badges and the stream itself. If you watch the stream, you will see sometimes there'll be him, he, him, or her, or them thing on next to their name. That was something they started doing this year. And yeah, it kind of pissed a few people off, but overall, it was the big thing I want to stress. It was optional. You did not have to put a pronoun on your badge or your stream. And you'll see a few that didn't do that. I was one of them. I did not put a pronoun on my badge. And I will take a picture of said badge and send it if I need to. I meant to do that, actually, because I want to show you what the badge looks like. It looks fucking amazing. Great artwork on that thing, let me tell you. But it was optional. No one was required to do that. You did it because it was a cool thing to do. And once again, it is skipping a lot of selfies because I know I've got more than that. Why is it doing that? Because it's pissing me the fuck off. You know what? I'm going to switch this to randomize. That should fix it. But the other thing is that I'm going to address this because I know we weren't going to bring it up on the monastery for good reason. There was a banner runner who got suspended at GDQ after some controversial tweets. But if you look deeper into the situation, it's not as black and white as people thought it was. And I think that's something that needs to be stressed, is that it was not as one-sided. But I just want to make it clear that this, when you actually go to GDQ and meet these guys, there is no bad blood. There is no anger. There's no hatred. There's no fighting.
There's no drama.
There's no drama. All drama is left at the door the minute you walk into a GDQ. What I saw walking through those halls and talking with all of these runners was a sense of family and unity. Even amongst the top guys. I had the chance on several occasions to talk to top staff at GDQ, including Spike Vegeta and Mike Uyama himself. Not just once, but several times. Talking with these guys. And here's the kicker. Anyone who knows me in person knows that, yeah, I am a very socially awkward. Social anxiety is a huge Achilles heel for me. It's one of the reasons why I haven't really made a name for myself, is I'm not very good at networking and social interaction. It is my downfall.
And make that double for me, because that's the same thing for me.
Yeah, it happens. But this event, this convention, took a lot of that away. Because I walked up to people I've never met before, people who would not have never even heard of me, joined in conversations out of the blue, and not once did anyone even question me being there. They treated me like we had been friends forever and I was just part of the family. Nobody made me feel unwanted there. At all. That was so surreal for me. Nobody. Like, I was talking with top staff. Again, Spike Vegeta. He went, like, one of my story was, I caught him as he was grabbing lunch. And there was a small area for everyone to eat, so it wasn't hard. And he was with a couple of other attendees, and I asked if I could join him. He didn't hesitate to say, go for it. He said, sure, dude, come on, have a seat. Pulled up a chair, and we talked about Dark Souls and alcohol for like a good 20 minutes. No joke. And, of course, there was also a lot of good friends. Walked up, hugs were given, talked for a while. Again, Wolfman, Math Girl 718, JTN 2002, a couple of other good friends of mine. Siberian, of course, as you see right here on screen. Siberian Bull, really cool guy to meet him in person. Again, he joined us for some Super Saiyan one night. But again, everyone treated me like that. Everyone treated me like I was part of the family. And you didn't feel socially awkward hanging out with these guys. You felt like you belonged there. Yes, it was, Bull. Yes, it was. I've never felt that before. Even at MetroCon or Ranger Stop. Places where I know most of the staff at MetroCon. And even there, I've never felt like that before. I've never felt so much a part of the family. Included. So included. That's it. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you, Maddie.
I was looking for the word too. I was thinking about the word too. Included.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing.
Yeah.
There was no the fuck are you, or there was some awkwardness, but it flew right the fuck away.
Yeah, there were some attendees there that were shy, and you could tell it was not worth talking to them. But the level of inclusion that this event has is unlike any event I've ever seen. You don't get this anywhere else. And I think that's a big aspect of GDQ's success, is that level of inclusion is. If you are a jerk, you will be weeded out. And that's one thing I think a lot of people don't see when it comes to people getting suspended or banned from GDQ. Is that there's often a good reason why they've been removed. It may not be as obvious to us as outsiders, but I talked with some staff about certain names that came up, certain names that are no longer part, and they made it clear there's a good reason they are gone. So don't ever think for a minute that if a person's getting banned from GDQ, that they didn't deserve it. Because odds are good, there's more to the story we don't know. And there's a good reason why they're no longer allowed at GDQ. Because they've weeded out all the troublemakers, and you can feel it. Everyone in the room is happy to be there, happy to see everyone, and is more than willing to welcome anyone into the fold. You will not find this at any other event, as far as I can tell. No one is this inclusive. It was, again, just surreal to feel that way.
It felt amazing. Let's just put it that way.
I know, I ramble, but I think this is the one time I'm allowed. Because...
But, you're saying what we're all thinking at this point.
Yeah. And I think... And Siberian's agreeing with me on this. Because everyone was cool with me. Even people that may not have been as cool with me online, they didn't treat me like I was an outsider. They didn't treat me like garbage. I was there. They were there. What's up, man? Glad you're here.
I got a too sweet. I wore a Bullet Club T-shirt and Grand Pooh Bear too sweet in me. I'm happy in my head.
Yeah, that actually happened.
The breeze about NXT. He was at NXT. He got to shoot the breeze with Adam Cole. He wanted to have Adam Cole do commentary for his Mario Maker 2 race, and it turns out he couldn't because, well, he couldn't say it at the time. But turns out the Undisputed Era decided to fly over to the UK and fuck shit up during that takeover. Whoops.
Bolt.
Like you do.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, one thing that was very common for me is, of course, as you guys know, I vape. Like, no surprise there. I think most of you have heard me do it by this point. But there was a spot out in the courtyard, outside, which was one of the few designated smoking areas. I was there quite a lot. But I wasn't alone. They had one of their Twitch engineers out there with his family, and he was out there vaping along with me, and a couple of other attendees here and there. And even though his picture's not showing up for some fucking reason, Prolix. If you've watched GDQ, you know who the fuck Prolix is. One of the smoothest voices at the host desk. He's actually now the director of hosting at GDQ. Alright, I'm going to see if I can... I don't know why it's doing this. Because I've got a ton of selfies. I've got 33 selfies and half of them aren't even showing up.
Hi, OBS. Heard you were trying to stream, so you decided to fuck up again.
Yeah. I got 32 selfies in here, and half of them aren't showing up. But a few more are starting to pop in now. But yeah. There we go. Yeah. Me and Prolix did a lot of talking during the week. I got to hang out with him a lot over the days. Especially in the latter half of the week. It was so much fun talking with him. Him and I clicked so much. And he actually gave me some advice on some things. It was a lot of, it was really enjoyable to get to hang out with these guys and learn so much about the community, about how things worked, about, you know, just how inclusive this community actually is. It was so fun getting to talk to those guys. And yeah, like, oh, you don't get the TAS bot? Okay, Cure. TAS ball, first of all, you got to know what a TAS is. TAS stands for Tool Assisted Speedrun. Basically, they use emulators and different programs to create the closest thing you can to a perfect run. You know, it is literally, they can go frame by frame, setting up tricks and glitches to do stuff that no human could possibly do. And what they do with TASBot is they set up a TAS file to play, one that's been verified to work on consoles. They hook up the bot to it, and it runs whatever task they have set up. So you get that's how crazy that gets. And of course, they can do even crazier stuff with it, like arbitrary code execution, which basically forces it to do stuff it wasn't meant to do, which you see a lot.
You see a ton of that. Oh, like I know we're trying to stay away from the runs until we start running, so to speak. But that Mario 3 task broke my brain.
Oh my god! Seriously, good god, it was nuts. But yeah. So, getting to meet Dwayne GoAC, I didn't get to talk to him very much. To be fair, a lot of the images you see were very quick. I didn't get a chance to talk to a lot of these guys for very long, but there were a few that I had some very good conversations with. Darkman, Edo Bean, I talked for a little bit here and there, and if you have not seen Edo Bean, go watch her channel. She's freaking amazing. She is such a cutie pie. Seriously. She's one of the best. Spike Vegeta, I talked to on a few occasions. Mike Uyama, I talked to on a few occasions. So, I got to meet a lot of the staff and actually get to know. That's the thing. That's another thing that you don't see at other conventions. You know, you go to other cons, and the heads of staff are just so busy, they don't have the time to talk to anybody. They are just off doing whatever, running around with chickens with their heads cut off. Not at GDQ. You will find some of the top staff at GDQ just walking around, enjoying the event on their own. Again, Mike Uyama, creator of GDQ. The top guy. Casually just walking around. Nothing to do. Where else do you see that?
Here's the thing. Not a whole lot of places.
Yeah, the image that you see me with where Maddie is photobombing us, by the way, in case you hadn't noticed, I'm sure most of you did. He was just watching a runner. He was just watching someone in the practice room. Like, seriously, that was what he was doing when I got that shot. That's how rare that's how unique that is. You don't see that. Like, the guys at Metrocon, the head of Metrocon, Alex, you would never catch him doing that. He's too busy trying to run the damn convention. It was absolutely surreal. Now, unfortunately, it's once again not showing all the images. I don't know why. You know what? Let's fix this. Let's fix this. I'm gonna duplicate this. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna cut out. Let's see, it's 33, so let's cut out 17. Now let's see if this fixes it to some extent. And I'm gonna I'll see if that at least gets us a few more of these runs in here. There we go. That's helping a little bit.
Hey!
It's not going to be perfect, but at least you'll see most of the images now without too much trouble. And big shout out to Feasel. Like, seriously. Feasel, who is the head of Speed Gaming, he's the creator of Speed Gaming. if you have not watched any of the commentaries I've done, which, by the way, I did one just last night. You didn't notice.
How about that sub 90, huh?
Jesus Christ!
Whoa!
That is the fastest.
I've seen
random
a few. I've
match I've
seen
ever
a few Link to the Past runs, rando runs. That's the fastest I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was nuts. But Feasel, I had the chance to talk to on a few occasions, and I am so grateful to Feasel for giving me the opportunity I have doing the commentaries at Speed Gaming. And shout out to especially the SMZ3 community for putting up with me, and a couple of the other communities. I know I haven't been participating in a lot of the other ones. I might have to get back into those, but everyone there was just so cool with me, getting to talk to all these guys. But you can see all of these amazing people. Like, it was just, I still, even like several days later, cannot process that I actually went to this, met these people, and was given that opportunity. It was just, my brain. And I know I'm not alone there. But of course, when we talk GDQ, it's time to get to the main event. Let's talk about the runs themselves.
Oh my god!
Now, fair being fair,
I got the schedule up on my end.
Yeah, now to be fair on my end, I didn't go to as many of the runs for one simple reason, and Maddie will back me up on this. I could not sit in the stream room for very long.
He tried, folks. He tried. He basically was suffering from the same affliction I think all of us, all three of us did. What was the case of, yeah, you're in the stream room, you're having fun, and then the runs start, and it's nothing, absolutely nothing against the runners. Or the host, or anyone there. Sometimes the body's willing, the mind just wants to shut down and sleep.
Yeah. Well, because of my ADHD, my mind was panicking for something to do when sitting in the stream room. And when I couldn't come up with anything, when I couldn't do anything but just sit and watch the run, my body just was like, I'd doze off. And it happened a lot. I mean, even during the final run, the very last run of the marathon, I had to leave because I was crashing. To be fair, it was really fucking late by that point, and I had burned myself out after the last couple of runs. So, I was out of energy by that point, but still. Oh, Slick Rick, we'll get to that soon. We will get to that.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy.
That wasn't the only time I popped up on camera, my friend.
By chronological order, you understand that.
Oh, yeah. But now,
yeah, so John was running around and regretting running around, and his legs and back was regretting running around all week, but it was his way to staying awake, essentially.
Yeah, because I was there for the pre-show, and that was funny as shit. Let's start with that. So, for those who don't know, this was the 10th anniversary GDQ, which, again, great time for us to show up right at the anniversary.
We have timing skills, my friend.
I'm telling you, man. We have timing. But to celebrate, as part of their celebration of the anniversary, they started the stream. They started the marathon pretending like they were back in Mike Uyama's mother's basement, and even pulled out the very webcam they used and mimicked the stuttering effect of a low quality webcam in the interview section. You wouldn't see it in the video I played, but the back end of that interview area was a recreation of the basement, and they were all sitting on the couch just chilling until J-Hobbs comes in and goes, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
Come on, I understand, but the production better go over to the thing. Go over to the thing. Welcome to Games Done Quick 2020.
Yeah.
all that stuff. Crowd pop.
Oh yeah. And then
Scent arrived. Laughter was had.
laughter was had. Also, I just have one thing to say about the pre-show and something that will be brought up again later. The Keys and Fees show. Holy shit. If you've seen GDQ, you know Feasel is like, he is such a juxtaposition. He is such an oxymoron. In the best way possible, I should stress. This is not meant to be an insult.
He has good comic timing because he is deadpan serious. He's got a deadpan
He
face.
has this dry humor to him that no one else could pull off. Like, you see Keezer on. He is a goofball through and through. Like, you expect him to go nuts. But you don't expect that from Feasel. He always seems so serious, so deadpan, so straight man. But when those two are together, it is absolute chaos, and it is glorious.
And the best part, and we'll be jumping around a little bit, but they had to kill a whole lot of time for a setup of a PC game. Basically, it was Destiny 2.
A six-man raid.
Kill, I think, about half an hour just of break time.
Yeah.
So what did they do? Keys and fees.
Oh.
Legit.
I hope they put that as an actual like video segment on this YouTube channel. People need to see that. This needs to be seen.
The minute the video of the Destiny 2 run goes up, I'm gonna go to the one that was up before, and check if that's up there,
or if it's on the Destiny 2 video itself, because that was how they killed time, and it was so random, so ridiculous, so stupid. But it was so glorious to watch.
You were in the hotel on the floor. Ace and I were there. We're on our asses laughing at the cringe.
The cringe was up to 11 for this. And given GDQ is notorious for cringy moments, that is saying something.
Oh, the best part. Some people put like cringe compilations. I made one of those compilations. I'm happy at my head place. It's literally rocking in front of the camera. Looking at my phone, looking up, looking at the camera. Oh shit! And then turn right back around. Boom! Boom!
Yeah.
You have fallen into my trap.
Now, most of the early runs were pretty basic. You know, Hat in Time was good. Zero Mission was fun. Mega Man 7 and stuff like that. The first really fun run goes to the Star Wars Escape from Yavin 4 Lost Maps by the glorious mastermind Covert Muffin.
Oh, Covert Muffin, go ahead, go finish.
I said this when I got my picture with him in my tweet, but I'm going to say it again now. If his amazing speedrun skills do not win you over as a fan, his infectious laughter will finish the job.
Yep.
He is one of the most fun runners you will ever see at GDQ. You have to see his stuff. Just watch any run of Covert Muffin, and you will understand what fun is at GDQ. Seriously, I'm so glad I met him.
The VODs keep coming in, and Destiny 2 made it. So it's not on Destiny 2, but the run before was Final Fantasy 6 by Nerm in 2327. The video is 1 hour and 2 minutes. Guess what, folks? That's where it is. Keys and Fees, live and in color.
So, folks, when you are done with this stream tonight, go to the Games Done Quick YouTube channel. Look up Games Done Quick on YouTube. Find the Final Fantasy 6 run.
Here it is.
Link in the chat for you, folks.
Around half an hour in.
Save that on another tab, because you need to see the total cringe fest that was the Keys and Fees show. Now, getting back on track, right after that was The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, a run that I was personally looking forward to, though I couldn't stick around for it for the same reasons I mentioned before. But we did do one cool thing. Before the run, because we were already sitting front row during the Star Wars run earlier, me and Maddie had a little fun. And if you pull up the Binding of Isaac VOD on YouTube, you will see this. You will see Maddie and I, front and center. Sunglasses on both of us, arms crossed, deadpan.
Well, you deadpan, me failing at the deadpan, but still.
Yeah. Like, you will see this, and you will laugh. And I don't know if it was, I think we also stuck around until the Super Mario 3 race, because we did it again.
The Mario 3 race was, I think, after that, yeah.
Yes, it was immediately after that. I think we stuck around for that. And again, deadpan. And the Twitch chat.
The Twitch chat was like going nuts.
Who were these two crazy bastards just sitting there?
I was trying to pull my inner Orange Cassidy. You know, every time a big number I'd set up a plotting, it would pull out like the half-cocked thumb.
Yeah.
The laziest thumb in all of wrestling, just to see how many people go nuts, and obviously people went nuts.
And me, I would just like every once in a while I just tip my shades down and just stare at the camera. Again, find the VODs for those runs and the runs around it, and you will see us just being taking this so serious.
There are moments where I'm dancing around with Dance Dad. There's a moment where we actually there's a incentive to get 2.3 million. We reach it, and I start the thank you Twitch chat chant.
He does. There is evidence of this. Or at least when the VOD finally goes up, there will be. It was so glorious. But
that week was glorious, but let's continue with the runs. We gotta talk about the run.
Yeah, now, from here, I pretty much avoided the stream room like the plague until the last day. Like, I stayed out of the stream room, so any stories about what happened during the runs is probably going to be more coming from Maddie and Ace if he ever shows up.
I think he busy. Check up on him. I would do that, actually.
Yeah, why don't you check up on him? But there were still some good runs. There was we'll briefly talk about some of the big blocks and the runs that were there. If you're a fan of the classic puzzle games Myst, they had a Myst block, including Real Myst, Masterpiece Edition, Riven, the sequel to Myst, and Myst 3 Exile. They had an N64 block right after that. Then they had the SNES block with Skyblazer, Mystical Ninja, ActRaiser Race, Battletoads, and Double Dragon. The Great Circus Mysteries starring Mickey and Minnie, Donkey Kong Country 3. Then we had a Sonic block, which ended with Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. Yes, Sonic 06 was in GDQ.
Sonic 06.
Silver story, no
MSG
percent. Oh my god. And then one of the key runs was the Fallout Anthology run. This was Fallout 1, Fallout 2, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4 back to back to back to back to back. And
by one runner.
By one guy. He did all of them in a row, non-stop. And he finished it in just over 2 hours. And the best moment was when he was trying to explain certain skips in Fallout 4, and he had visual aids.
He did. He had cardboard cups and everything else, which was amazing.
Then they had the Outer Worlds following up because, of course, Fallout, similar to Fallout, made by the same guy, made by Obsidian Entertainment. Really cool. Doom Sigil. And then a Medieval. Oh, God. I saw this in the hotel, and I had to laugh my ass off. So, for the run of a Medieval, they actually had the developers of this game on a Discord call. But somebody forgot to tell the developers of a Medieval that this is a PG stream.
So, fuck cancer, right? No, frick cancer. Frick cancer.
Yeah, for like the first 10-20 minutes, they were cursing up for the first like 5 to 10 minutes of the run, cursing up a storm. Until finally someone told him, dude, you might want to tone down the swearing. I mean, to be fair, they didn't do anything offensive with it, but oh boy. I feel bad for whoever had to put up that VOD. I'm pretty sure they had to edit that. If they didn't, go look it up. It's glorious. From there, they finished out. They had Doom 2016, Bayonetta 2, GTA San Andreas, which was a trip.
I think most of us were in bed at that particular portion.
Yeah. GTA San Andreas started at like 4:30 in the morning, and it was a 4-hour run. Nobody was staying up for that.
Oh. I think where we need to pick up some stories here is just around the time of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Oh, God, yes. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. 2 players, 1 controller, blindfolded. You had Sinister 1 and Zallard 1, both using the same controller. One doing the movement, one doing the punches. Both of them blindfolded. Picture that if you
live. We were in front row. We were looking at that. I screamed, "Let's get ready for Punch Out!" Got the crowd going.
Indeed. Oh, that was fun. And then immediately following that was probably the most legendary run of the week. TVG
Terraria.
Badger with Terraria. Now,
this was probably one of the most interesting runs, despite of the of how it ended. It was interesting to how the tech worked. I guess you'd say. You could explain it a little better. I know you watched.
Yeah, I saw this from the hotel room, and I watched the absolute train wreck this became, because he had a lot of interesting tricks and strats to set up a very quick. The goal was to get to the final boss, the Moon Lord, on a normal seed. But at one point, he was trying to fight the 3 second last boss, near the last bosses. The demon forms of the skull, the 2 eyeballs, and the worm. However, something went horribly wrong, and he died. And then it became daytime by the time he recovered. And thus, he couldn't
essentially,
kill the boss.
There was a point where he was supposed to kill a boss at a particular point, and essentially, for lack of better terms, he got soft-locked from beating the game.
Yeah. And this created quite a problem. So, what he decided to try to do, and I stress, try to do, was he tried to see if he asked the community, he asked everyone, the producers, and even asked people donating for any advice on how to fix this. So they tried to open up a new map.
Tech crew tried to help him out. His friends tried to help him out. Donations were in to try to help him out. In fact, one of the donations, I think, had the solution to the problem, or at least figured out what the problem was.
So they tried to open up a new map that would be set the way he needed it to. And they took a while to get the command set up, but it didn't work. It still would not solve the problem. And they tried to find console commands that could fix the problem, but just nothing was working. And they were already going over time by this point.
Essentially, the unfortunate news there that the run had to be mercy killed, but the man, the Badger, TVS Badger, such a charismatic, lovable man, hugging everybody as soon as the run was over. I went over to him to shake his hand. He hugged me out of nowhere. And I told him, dude, summer, whatever, you're going back and finishing the job.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. Come back and finish this. But not only was he charismatic as hell, but he probably made the most money early on in the marathon, because he, at one point near the end, had a $500 donation train going. On top of several $1,000 donations.
Yeah, legit. That he's not kidding. That's legitimate. That's how crazy it got.
So I don't think they're gonna. I don't think he's gonna have trouble coming back next time around.
No, with the love that he got from coming back, this was his first GDQ as well, ever. So yeah, if he comes back, he is finishing the job. He has to at this.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the insanity continues into the next run, which was the Legend of Zelda Relay Race. 3 runners playing the original 3 Zelda games. Zelda 1, Adventures of Link, and Link to the Past. Again, back to back to back. 3 different teams. And the run in of itself was good overall, except for one thing, and this is almost depressing to bring up. Because right near the end of Zelda 1, Cantaloupe Me, who was one of the runners doing Zelda 1, died at level 9. Right near the end. And it sent him back. Far enough that his team never caught up. And if I remember correctly, this was his final speed run ever. He was retiring.
It was his retirement speed run too, which you
to
hate
choke
to see it, really.
then was brutal. I actually talked with Cantaloupe Me the next day, and he was devastated. I mean, he got over it pretty quickly. He was like, you know what, I'm just going to get drunk and just forget about it. It happened, but you could tell this one hit him hard.
This was not the retirement run. This is not the victory lap that he had intended. Let's put it that way.
No, it was not. So, but other than that, the run was good. You had some good runners in there. GTH or TGH, ProJN, RC Drone, people I've worked with in the past or commentated for in the past. Very cool guys. From there, pretty basic stuff for the roaster runs the next day.
The Garfield caught in the act was kind of cool to see live as well.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I watched that one. I remember seeing that up at the hotel. I would say there really wasn't much big stuff happening on Wednesday, admittedly. Not many big runs or anything. I mean, the Super Monkey Ball run was pretty fun, I'll say.
Super Monkey Ball was fun to see live. Actually, we were front row with the runner the night before. And we were shooting the breeze, and one of the stories was, and this is where I was hoping to have Ace on, because he could help with the explanation. A bunch of people are hanging out. They're handing out carts from Mario 3, and I saw the Super Famicom of Mario World, and I'm like, ooh, that's awesome. I was like, you guys right now, we're runners. Oh, hi, how you doing? We're shooting the shit. And of course, the guy's getting autographs from the runners, and he's autographing his carts and everything else. And he hands one over to Ace. Ace signs it, and then hands over a North American one to me. I'm like, oh, cool, got all the signatures and everything else. I was like, can you sign it? Wait, what? Can you sign it? You want me to sign? Of course. Give me that Sharpie. Of course I'll sign it. I have my first autograph at a convention at a GDQ.
I think I said,
like,
total inclusion.
Like you said, that was like mind-blowing. So I'm like, yo, fucking A, thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Now, from there, things get pretty uneventful. I mean, they had next, actually, there was a couple of things. First of all, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, 100% no source requirement. This requires a bit of explanation. Because how this works was they had to get all the items, but they didn't exactly have to get them the way the game intended you to get them. And so
to explain it, if you see the VOD, you'll see platform Wii Virtual Console, to be specific. That's because it had to be hacked, so to speak.
In a way. But what they actually did was they used glitches of all different shapes and sizes to get items in ways that you would never have imagined. It was insane to see them do stuff like set up a boomerang to drop down the giant hole in the Deku tree and just pick up a shit ton of items that they weren't supposed to have, and was able to complete the game in just under 3 hours. And then on top of that, which is even fun, which makes it even funnier, is that they did a glitch exhibition, which after the run you saw, kind of seemed pointless.
Let's put it this way: this was for the challenge. The 250 12. That's the challenge. The glitch exhibition, swag.
Yeah,
just to tell them, oh, we wanted to make it long so you guys could donate money. We could have beat it in 3 minutes.
Yeah, the glitch exhibition, all they did was show off glitches that don't do anything to improve the game. They're not speedrun strats. They're not glitches that help you. They're just for the lulz. And when I say the lulz, how about having an item based on the Franker Z emote? That literally spawns a rainbow-colored dog. Yes, this actually happened. They used an arbitrary code execution and to create a series of commands that somehow program the game to give you a Franker Z emote as an icon, and then when you used it, it summoned a dog that you could just toss.
Basically, puppos, doggos, puppies.
Yeah.
Hence the tweet.
It was
Puppies.
crazy.
All of the doggos.
Yeah.
Doggo here, doggo there, doggo everywhere.
So that was that. That's one of the VODs I would recommend you watch, just for the insanity of it all.
Getting into eye roll is always a highlight, and then
after the Mega Man
Mario
4 through 6,
Mega Man 4 through 6,
another relay race. But then after that, it begins.
Oh, this is where I feel so bad for Ace, because this is where we shine.
Because
this is where we found out. That that couch there, we could sit in it. That back couch, that backup couch. This is where we found out we could sit there.
Yes, and
we sat down. Actually, we sat down at the Mega Man 3 race, or the Mega Man relay, and then we decided is no one gonna. We're gonna stick around. We're so goddamn glad we did.
Yes, because next.
So the whole running gag.
Oh, hold on. Let's
set it up. Set the running gag up. Excuse me.
Actually, hold that thought for a minute. I have a new chair. Be right back.
This is the part where we if I can talk. This is where we kill time. This is where we kill time, if you will. So, how about them Houston Texans? What a blowout. What a blowing. They blew it. No. Seriously, GDQ was fucking amazing. It's like that last first person Maddie. Which, by the way, I should find a link to because, well, I did vlog as many as some of you may or may not have noticed or not.
Okay, I'm back, and I am comfortable as shit right now.
Hey, don't fall asleep on me now.
Oh, don't worry about that, my friend.
Here's a playlist of all the videos I produced, by the way, for those wondering. I was giving a plug for the first person Natty.
Fair enough.
On the blogs. Little random videos of stuff I did in Orlando. And there's those videos. There's at the very end, it's me doing the SCU gimmick. But instead of worst place, it's the best con I've ever been at GDQ.
Yeah, indeed. Now,
anyway,
so
let's set this up.
Because the next block of games... The next block of games is the block that everyone wants to see. The block where some of the greatest games of all time are showcased. Behold the majesty and the madness that is Awful Game
Awful
done
block.
quick.
The awful block.
And starting things off is our boy Keyzeron playing the Game Boy Color version of Animorphs.
They've been setting this running gag up the entire time. Every time Keyzeron was it, so is your favorite game Animorphs? No, go away, go away. To the point where they were selling, or well, doing the interview with Keys, when they found out, yeah, the donation incentive had been met, and essentially, J-Hop's look, all right, I'm here with Keyzeron about Animorphs. Okay, no. Screen, break screen, go. They go to break screen. And then it cut back. J Hobbs, defeated, goes, I've been informed that I have to talk about Animorphs. Crowd pops. This is where the madness begins, because after Mega Man 4 to 6, it goes to Animorphs. Edo Bean goes, and now you paid for it. He's Animorphs. And I'm so glad Ace and I made the backup couch for this, because this VOD alone you should watch.
Yes. If there's
Dog, oh! Wolf, ah! Whale, ah! Game over. Oh.
It was.
I'm smiling at it. I cannot do it justice, which sucks.
Watch the first episode of Witcher.
We'll get to, honey, not right now.
I want to bounce a coin off that ass.
What the fuck?
Lady K just watched the first episode of The Witcher on Netflix.
OMG, that ass.
Random
And
lady is
obviously-
random.
Yeah, and she will probably be watching episode 2, so be careful. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
But that Animorphs run, I mean, I cannot do it justice. I mean, obviously the stream will not do it as much justice as being there live, but the hype in the room when Keys finally beat it.
and if that wasn't insane enough,
I decided to stick around because I was like, I am not going to bed. Because this was like 3 in the morning that now.
but by the time we finished
Highlight
Manamorphs, it was
happened.
almost 4 in the morning. It was after 4 in the morning.
At this point, I didn't care. I was sticking around for Super Highlight.
Super Highlight. Allow me to sum up Super Highlight with one comment.
Lucky!
No, my
Lucky!
friend, let me. Could you quit
All right,
interrupting me and let me
you
do my
set it
fucking
up,
thing?
I got a story for that too.
Because to sum up Super Highlight, it was the smoothest run you will ever watch. It's a joke!
It's a joke! This will be the greatest game ever made. It's a
joke! All right. To explain
Basically,
what the hell we're
Mikey Yama got the incentive was joke %.
Yes.
It was met, so they played joke %.
What this means is
And
that he had to read the item. He had to use certain items that don't do anything but give you random messages, really stupid ones, followed by a flashing message going, "It's a joke!"
And you, if in the VOD, at the commentary couch, had signs flashing, "It's a joke."
Yep.
In the first 5 minutes of the run, the backup couch, myself and Ace included, were given signs that spelled out "lucky" because it was trying to fish some coins and everything else. Every time we got lucky, we put the signs up, "Lucky, lucky." It's a joke!
Yes. if you watch any block of runs at GDQ, always make it awful block because it is some of the most hilarious runs.
I'm so pissed it was so goddamn late, because if it had started at midnight like it was originally planned, I would have stuck around for the entire block. This was a late night run. This was the all-nighter for me and Ace.
Yeah, because it went from
This
3
was the
in the morning, 3:15 in the morning, and they did not finish the awful block until 9:45 in the morning. I woke up to see the end of Cybergenic Ranger's Secret of the Seventh Planet, which that is a trip in and of itself, let me tell you. Followed by the run, one of the few runs of Awful Block I was personally looking forward to, Mega Man 3, The Robots Are Revolting, aka Mega Man 3 on MS-DOS. If you have not seen Mega Man or Mega Man 3 on DOS, go watch the runs. Mega Man DOS is out on a previous GDQ, and this year they had Mega Man 3. And they did it using CGA graphics, meaning a lot of cyan and magenta, not that much other colors.
Basically, watch with sunglasses or your eyeballs would melt.
Yes. And I actually went up to the runner Liz Star afterwards, which is when I got her photo. And I said, thank you for doing that run because it was so awesome. I said, great job on that run. That was a lot of fun to watch.
I actually have the VOD on now. I'm gonna watch that as soon as we're done here, because I was fast to goddamn sleep. You can vouch for that.
Yeah. From there, everything was pretty simple. They had a few good runs here: Fatal Frame, Resident Evil 4, Jack 2, Marvel's Spider-Man on PS4. And then this is where we really fucking need Ace right now.
Yeah.
This is his run because next up on the lineup, Earth Defense Force 5, DLC Mission Pack 1, Fencer Class, Hard Difficulty. And here's the kicker. The runner is a guy by the name of Half Coordinated. And the thing with him is that because of certain physical conditions, he can only ever play games one-handed.
Folks, I dare you to ask him if he gives a fuck about that, because he'll tell you nope.
To any game journos out there who say that you should make games to cater to those with disabilities, I'd like to introduce you to Half Coordinated, who will tell you, fuck you, he doesn't need any special help.
He'll beat your game with one hand.
Yes.
Twice.
He's done it. This isn't his first GDQ either. He's done stuff like Ori and the Blind Forest, one-handed. He will find a way to prove you wrong. Now, it was around this point that the donation incentives got a little zealous.
Over ambitious, I think would be the
And
word.
even certain GDQ staff agree with me on this. They were trying to push for that 3 million at this point, and it was clear that's what they were trying to do. Because they had some huge incentives, and from here until Final Fantasy VI, a lot of them did not get met. Final Fantasy VI was the one incentive they ended up having to push for hardest because it was the only one they met at that point. There was an incentive for Earth EDF 5 that didn't get met. There were 2 incentives for Devil May Cry 5 that didn't get met, including Dancing Dante. You know, if you played DMC 5, you know what I'm talking about. They made that an incentive, and it failed. But we did get a Final Fantasy VI Any Percent New Game Plus by NERM, finished in 23 minutes. Think about that for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Final Fantasy VI in 23 minutes. Needless to say, glitches were involved.
Lots of glitches. All of the glitches.
Yeah.
Beautiful glitches.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yes.
And I remember I was there live. This was Final Fantasy VI, and the setup, of course, keys and fees.
As we mentioned earlier,
But seeing that live was, whoa.
Speaking of Destiny 2, after we get through with keys and fees and their insanity,
Basically, the whole reason I talked about it with Fiesel. I met with Fiesel for about for a couple of minutes. We were talking about that. They had to kill time because, and I can explain this because I saw them set that shit up. Well, in between fits of laughter, of course. And did they suplex the train? I don't believe they had time.
they
to
never
suplex the
even
train.
went to the train.
They didn't get they didn't even get a whiff of a train, sadly. But I'm pretty sure the glitches suplexed the game.
Yeah. But yeah, after the insanity that was keys and fees to set up the next game, Destiny 2.
They needed that setup because 8 people.
6.
2 tables. So, no, 6. Okay, so 2 tables. 4 on the tables. And the main screen, you had 2 people up there. 6-person raid for Destiny 2. They sped run the shit out of that.
Yeah, it was the last wish raid. And they got through it pretty quickly. But what really made the fun is at the end, after the run ended and they were getting their items. Because for those who know Destiny 2, I don't, but I still understand enough to know this. One of the super rare item in there is a weapon called 1,000 Voices. One of the runners not only got the 1,000 Voices, he got it twice. And what made it even more funny was they were explaining the 1,000 Voices after you picked up the first one, and we're saying that there's a rare chance that it will drop twice. And as they say that, he picks up the second one, and he loses his fucking mind. Like, you could not have timed that better if you tried. And then from there, you had we had a few more good runs. Fire Emblem Three Houses, Bioshock, and then it kind of gets silly. Wolfenstein Youngblood, Subnautica. There was not much going on from there until I'd say, one of the other ones that Listar did that made me laugh, Darkened Sky.
Oh, yeah.
If you have not heard of this game, you're about to go what the fuck and laugh your ass off. If you know this game and know what it's about, you're already laughing at the idea of this getting speedrun. Because the concept of Darkened Sky is an action-adventure game where the MacGuffins to collect to access your magical abilities are, and I shit you not, magical Skittles. Yes. Skittles, as in the candy.
As in you pop up a green one and then you kick an ass or 2.
You think I'm kidding? You think I'm joking? Go watch the VOD when it goes up. You will then understand.
You eat a green Skittle, you kick an ass or 2, because that's what Brian Botana would do.
But yeah.
Like, I'm joking, but we're not kidding about the run.
No. It was pretty impressive. And yes, the category was Taste the Rainbow. From there, pretty basic stuff. Toho Luna Nights, the Metroidvania, or the action-adventure version of Toho. VVVVVV, glitchless 100%. Celeste, a couple Pac-Man games, Pokemon X and Y, which was pretty interesting. Then we had the Mega Man X block. Mega Man X4, X3, and then a Mega Man X 100% race. And followed by that is, of course, the one, the only, the task block.
I am so happy I made backup couch for this. Because the first one was TaskBot plays Super Mario Brothers 3. You can hear me when the VOD goes up. I actually saw that they had like multiple blobs of VODs on Twitch. I watched that back. You can hear me scream, "How?" at this.
I need to check something because GDQ may not have that particular task block up, but
I believe some people from TaskBot put it up. That's how I found out.
Dwango AC has some task block stuff up on his channel. I'm checking now which ones he's got up. Okay, he only has one other task block, which we'll get to later, because that was not the part of the main task block, but it is up. Retro Kid, should have been here earlier. We've been talking about it this entire fucking time.
In short, you're late. It was good. It was fun.
Yeah. So they did Super Mario 3, Super Mario 2, and then they did, as a bonus incentive, Pokemon Blue No Save Corruption task block.
That was a mind blower.
Oh, yeah. Then after that, they had the Wind Waker, which was a fun run. They used a lot of interesting glitches, including the Tinkle Tuner to basically pull off some tricks you never could pull before. It was a much better run than the last time they ran Wind Waker, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Super Mario 64 randomizer.
Glad I made backup couch for that as well.
Oh, god damn it, you lucky bastards. But yeah.
I had to. It's rando, for God's sakes. You know me.
Hey, I should have been there for that, too.
You should have been there for that. That was a race.
So, basically how this randomizer works is all of the levels are randomized. Like, you go into a painting, you don't know where you're going to end up. You can end up anywhere. And not only are but the stars are randomized. Not just in what events you have to do, but the locations of the stars. They could be anywhere. And even the ones you have to complete certain objectives to do, once you complete them, that star could go and fly to the complete opposite side of the map from where it's supposed to go. It can fuck with you.
Fuck with you, yeah. Here's your star. Here's your star. You've earned it. It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's over there.
And the worst part about it is, one of the randomized locations, if you know Super Mario 64, if you go through the Hazy Maze Cave, there's the entrance to the green switch zone. That is part of the randomized level layout, meaning you may have to go to that secret entrance just to find another level you're missing. And that's exactly what happened. In fact, it was one of the most essential locations by the end of the run, because that was where Womp's Fortress was hiding, which is one of the gold mines for star collection in this game. They had to get 70 stars. Not the whole 120, thankfully, but 70. So, to try to route it in, they inevitably had to go to Hazy Maze Cave to get to the Womp's Fortress several times. It was nuts. And credit to Simply, who I believe was the one that won the run by the end. And then, of course, more regular runs. Everything was pretty solid up until that point. We can jump ahead to the last day, Saturday night.
Mario World One Mind.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. Okay.
That was something to watch.
2 players, 2 controllers, but here's how it worked. Every half a second, control of the player would switch between the two controllers. Meaning both players had to work together to control Mario, or Luigi, since one of them was controlling Luigi. But it was the same, it was just one character that would switch back and forth every half second as they're playing. London Cheesehead, stay on topic, please. We are strictly talking GDQ. Sorry, man. Hashtag save it for the WrestleCast.
Yeah, WrestleCast, Fridays, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on RVT Entertainment's official Twitch.tv channel. It'll be myself and TWK.
Anyway, so yeah,
watching that. I need to watch that, actually.
Anyway, so back to Mario World. Really fun run. Very interesting, and they worked really well together. You know, both Author Blues and Lack Attack did a very good job working together to pull that off. So go check that VOD out and just see how crazy that gets. But everything was pretty basic. Nothing too spectacular happened up until 12:58 p.m.
Clone Hero.
A Guitar Hero custom game run by Frosted GH. Folks, I say this with no hyperbole, no exaggeration, no bullshit. The songs that this guy played, when you think of Guitar Hero and you think of insane songs, you probably think of Through the Fire and Flames by Dragon Force, which did get played.
He played the shit out of that, by the way.
That was a bonus incentive, but by the time he got to that song, which was the last song he had to do for the bonus incentive, the songs he did before that made Through the Fire and Flames look like it was done on easy mode.
He's not kidding.
I sat there watching this guy play, unable to pick my jaw off the floor.
Myself, Ace, and about 3,200 people included in that.
Yeah, that was just, what the fuck am I watching? Like, there were times he wasn't even hitting the strum bar. He was just pounding on the frets at such a speed, it was insane. Watch that VOD when it goes up. You will not be prepared for that.
And speaking of what the fuck...
Oh, okay. My turn, more than ever.
And I wish... Words that Andy wished he could say on stream multiple fucking times, ladies and gents.
I present to you The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, Randomizer, Open Mode, Crowd Control. What is crowd control, you might be asking yourself, though I'm sure most of you can already piece together where this is going. So, a group of programmers have put together a thing where you can, through the Super NES, this was done on console, I should stress, connect it to the internet and allow the viewers on Twitch at home to use their Twitch bits, turn them into coins, and then spend them for special effects that will immediately go into the game to either help Andy, or more often than not, completely fuck with him.
We're evil Twitch chat. We are evil Twitch chat.
Now,
we are evil Twitch chat. We are evil Twitch chat. Bum.
Yeah. Now, as a nice little bonus for those of us who were attendees at the con, they had actually added a feature for those of us at the event to go on to our profiles at GDQ's website and pull up a special app, a special website that allowed us to vote for other abilities that would get added in as well for no charge. We didn't have to pay a dime, but we can only do them every 5 to 10 minutes, or every couple minutes or so. It varied between votes.
On average, it was around 2 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, and whatever got the most votes after a certain amount of time would be sent into the game. If you planned on helping Andy and you were attending at GDQ, let that dream die.
You were the heel.
We had no choice but to vote for the most vile of options available every time because that
Jake,
was the effect that
Jake.
won all the time.
tell him who was on the goddamn couch.
And to make matters even
Just
more
to make
fun,
it even better.
just to add to this, they had the developer of the app itself, I forget his name off the top of my head and I apologize. They had Saru, who was the creator of the Emo Tracker, one of the most well-known trackers for anyone running Link to the Past randomizer, or several other randomizers for that matter. And then finally, the man, the myth, the absolute mad lad himself, Patty. If you have not
Who
seen...
did everything in his power to fuck with Andy.
If you have not seen Patty at GDQ, again, it's like Cobra Muffin. You have to see this man in action, but for very different reasons. Because to call Patty an asshole is an understatement.
He was chaotic evil.
Oh my god, he was fucking with Andy the entire time.
There was a portion where where it was like all the cuckoo attack, one hit KO, inverted controls. He was, Andy was trying to just spamming the hook shot because one thing is when you spam hook shot, you're invincible. He was hooking, and people got die, and Patty went die to a point where he moved them just so he could fucking die and get the crowd going, yay!
Yeah, he literally walked over and basically shook Andy, distracting him long enough for a cuckoo to finally kill him. Like, he was that insistent on Andy taking a death that he made sure it happened, which in any other event would have been an instant ban from GDQ because that is something you don't do. Only Patty in this scenario could have gotten away with that.
And I'm pretty sure someone went to him and said, okay, that was funny, never do it again.
Yeah. Yet, despite the chat and the crowd fucking with Andy every step of the way, including having times where you could just outright kill him. You could literally pay to just outright kill him like that.
And the seed wasn't exactly playing fair ball with him either.
No,
he had a
it
rough
wasn't.
seed.
And despite all of that,
every right to say, okay, 3 hours, 30 minutes, we gotta cut it. Get your standing O.
but
Have a beer, you're good.
Somehow, while only being slightly overestimate, it was like by 10 minutes tops.
By 10 minutes, but he was in go mode.
He did it. He fucking pulled it off.
The mad lad pulled it off.
Now, they had Sekiro Shadows Die Twice after that, but there is one thing we have not brought up yet when it comes to the event this year. In years past, there has been a loud call that has gone on, and it did happen a few times this year as well. Whenever a spherical object appeared on screen, the crowd would yell, "Orb!"
Orb?
But this year, that was replaced with something new.
Honk!
Honk! Because next up on our lineup, Untitled Goose Game.
Folks, Orb is dead. Long live Honk.
Oh, we will get to how crazy that was in our last run. Because one runner decided to take that to the absolute extreme. But we will get to that. So that happened. Honks were made. Then we get to the Super Mario Maker 2 4v4 blind relay race. Wow.
With my boy Grand Pooh Bear.
Grand Pooh Bear and a couple of others. And again, it was an absolute madness run to watch. I came in. I finally said fuck it and came into the stream room at this point. Because I wanted to see this. And I wanted to see something else that was coming up a bit later.
You were in for Link of the Past randomizer crowd control You stuck around for this one.
No, I went back up for Sekiro. Remember, I took a break for Sekiro and Goose Game. I
And
came
then
back for Mario Maker 2.
back down for Link's Awakening.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But I came back during Mario Maker 2 because I remember I was there for that. But that was insane. And it was a lot of fun to watch. Again, watch that VOD when it comes up. And then, as a bonus incentive, a Super Mario Maker 2 task run. Yes, Dwango is back, as was the task bot for the first ever task on the Nintendo Switch.
2.3 mil. We'll throw in Link's Awakening, new one, and Mario Maker 2 tasks.
Yeah, the incentives were lined up in such a way to hit that incentive. So yes, that happened. It was a blast, and again, go watch that if you get that. The Mario Maker 2 task is up on Dwango AC's YouTube channel if you want to check that out. Go watch that. But then comes the moment where
Let's
yours
put it this
truly...
way. Ace said it best. The Switch is taskable.
The floodgates
Think
are
of that.
opened. But now...
Think of that.
Now it is the Shades' time to shine because second to last on the lineup to this year, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening 2019, the remake, the Switch version.
I got him on the backup couch, kids.
Me and Natty on the backup couch, and I am in plain fucking view. I took full advantage of this fact.
you were wide the fuck awake for that one, pal.
Amen to that. I had a blast watching that, and all I'm gonna say is, whenever the runner for this TGH grabs one of the instruments of the sirens, just watch me for a minute and see what I do. I need to see the Twitch VOD for that just to see how the chat reacted to me. Because I know they had to have been talking about me during that run. But it was a great run regardless. A lot of fun to watch. And I am so glad I got onto the couch for that one. And then finally we come to the main event. The final run of the marathon. Super Metroid Impossible. A ROM hack of Super Metroid for the SNES that is unlike anything you've ever seen.
Basically, Super Metroid hard mode on goddamn steroids.
No, Natty, I'll make this even simpler. Super Metroid Kaizo Edition.
That's about as close as we can get it to justice as we can.
Yeah. And of course, during this run, very early on, we did it.
3 mil.
$3 million. And they set this up because right before the run, they had an interview with the couch, and it was J-Hobbs, Sumichu, and Sent. And they all just knew. J-Hobbs.
No, not J-Hobbs. That wasn't J-Hobbs.
Oh, that was later.
Darkman,
That was
right?
afterwards. That was afterwards.
Yeah.
It was... Who was
Poor
it?
J-Hobbs that picked up a sore throat.
Yeah, he picked up sword, but he did have an appearance in that. No, it was... who else was on the couch? Or who was the other guy? I forget.
Darkman.
Darkman. That's it. It was Darkman 78. Darkman. And they were just sitting there like... You remember how last year we kind of did this thing where we took all the sponsors and the Twitch bits and subs and just kind of slapped them in there at the last minute to get to 3 million?
Yeah, no big deal. Probably
No big
just a
deal. We're just
small
gonna go
number.
ahead and do that again.
And keep in mind that I think at that point we had reached about 2.5 million, 2.6 million. So we figured they're gonna get close. Oh. Tell him.
Jumped right up to 2.9 like that.
$3,500. Thank you. Boom. Mic drop.
He literally takes his head. Yeah, Darkman literally takes his headset off and just drops it like a mic drop. So, needless to say, and that's when J-Hops comes on air, and he's like, I was supposed to be on the couch for that last segment, but I've been sick, but I have a tradition, always at the last run, and I normally don't do this on air. I usually do this off camera, but I'm gonna do it live here. And he just shouts, "Let's go!"
That poor son of a bitch's throat.
It must have been dead after that, but it worked. 3 million. And if you check out that playlist Maddie posted earlier from First Person Maddie, you will see the moment that it happened, and me, Maddie, and Ace were front row right when it happened.
I call the video the pop because that was a pop.
It's hard to hear sometimes. Like, again, because everyone's got these headsets on most of the time with direct audio feeds and very close range, you don't always hear exactly how loud that crowd gets. You hear the crowd. You can hear them. But it does not do it justice. Just how crazy that crowd can get. It was loud in that room. And then, of course, it happened again when we broke the record of the original record from SGDQ 2819 was 3.03. We broke that by $100,000 by the end. It was madness in that room.
It was magical. It was amazeballs.
Now, at this point, I had been spent because between the Mario Maker run and the Link's Awakening run, plus all of the energy expended shouting for those pops, I was done. So halfway through Super Metroid Impossible,
popped open the thing on the Chromebook, and you just said, "I'm gonna watch from afar."
Yeah, I went back to my hotel, or I went back to our hotel, and I finished up GDQ upstairs. But you know what? At that point,
you were wide awake. You were pretty much wide awake, watching this poor guy try to get through Ridley, who decided to be a fucking.
Oh,
bitch.
fucking hell, Ridley! Oh,
I could tell you sitting there live. The lumps in all our throats.
Yeah, when you watch this run, you will just see. Like, I've seen Super Metroid crossover randomizers that weren't this bad in terms of having to kill Ridley. He had only a few E-tanks. He didn't have enough. He had, maybe 20 missiles, 30 missiles tops, if that. Yeah. Hardly any supers. And to top it all off, he didn't have the Varius suit. So he was doing...
This was the hell run.
This was a hell run, as it's known in the community, where you have to go through Norfair without the Varius suit to protect you from heat damage. So he was fighting Ridley on a timer. A very short timer. And Ridley was not playing nice.
Ridley was a bitch.
So many unfair deaths.
Oh, no. I'm not playing. I'm not. No. I'm not putting this over far enough. This is literally being generous.
Yeah. So many unfair deaths to Oats and Goats for this. Yeah, no heat suit. In fact, here's how much of a dick the developer of this ROM hack was. Guess where Vario was. Guess where that heat suit was.
Right after that fight.
You had to kill Ridley with very little health and very little weapons to even get the Varius suit. Dick fucking move.
Thy name is Super Metroid Impossible.
This makes that one moment from Metroid Other M, as Game Fan points out, look like a competent move by comparison. And I don't say that lightly, because nobody defends that scene from Other M. But this made that look like a moment of genius by comparison. Because at least in Other M, you didn't have to fight a boss like that. You only had to go through some few weak enemies and just survive for a little while. Here, you had to go through the entirety of Norfair and fight Ridley without the suit. Again, dick move. After that, the rest of the game was a joke. He only died one more time to Mother Brain, and that was it.
But that escape, and he made that escape, and I think with like 2 seconds left on the clock.
2 seconds, yeah.
Because
Because he had to save the animals to top it off. He had to save the animals on top of everything else. And with this ROM hack, both the countdown timers, they were shortened. Severely shortened. I think he had, 10 seconds to escape Sarah's space station?
Yeah.
10 seconds to get out of Sarah's
20
space station.
seconds.
20
seconds,
seconds.
actually.
20 seconds. I think it's like 2 minutes in the original game. Or like a minute or something like that. It was a decent amount of time. 20 seconds
Like
to
that,
get
yeah.
from the Ridley fight in Sarah's space station to the exit. So, yeah. This game's a bitch. And remember I mentioned the honk thing earlier? Oats and Goats did this thing where he had to wall jump like up this little mini hallway. And he decided, he told everyone right before he entered the room, every time I wall jump, I want you guys to honk. We're thinking, okay, probably going to be a decent amount of wall jumping. The area he had to jump was like yay big. So he was wall jumping every half second for like a solid, I want to say 30 to 40 seconds.
Close to a minute, yeah.
So,
Honk, 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 honk,
Yeah.
honk, 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 honk,
honk, honk, honk, honk, honk, honk, honk, honk, honk, honk, honk, honk, honk, honk, honk. That's literally how it sounds. You'll hear it in the VOD. We barely kept up.
Basically, he tried to kill the meme before it got too big.
Yeah.
What problem though?
Too fucking late, pal.
It's gonna live to SGDQ, you watch.
Oh, I can bet money on that. Memes don't die. And if they do, they simply get resurrected again. We are meme
God.
necromancers at GDQ.
A challenge to the Yeti, one of the shirts for SGDQ. The goose going after an orb. Print money, my friend. Print money.
Yeah. But from there, they wrap it up with a look back over 10 years of GDQ, some of the biggest moments in GDQ history, for good and for
Including the
bad.
stomp, with apologies to Grand Pooh Bear.
Yeah, the infamous Mario 3 race stomp that fucked over, who was it?
Mitch Flower Power.
Mitch
yeah.
Flower Power, yeah. Oh, that Grand Pooh Bear will never live that down. They even brought it up earlier, like during the Mario Maker, at the beginning of the Mario Maker run. Like, you're not gonna, you don't have to worry about stomping the console this time. He's like, god damn it. But no, seriously, this was an amazing experience to go to. I think that's pretty much everything we got to cover at GDQ.
I feel bad for Ace right now because he probably could sum it up better, like on our feelings. But you know what? It might be a case where we might let him have to give him like 10 minutes on Sunday just so he could get his part out.
Yeah.
To probably the dismay of Easy, but this is probably gonna work. We're gonna have to do.
Yeah. Now, obviously, even with everything I try to set up, not all the images are showing here on this little slideshow. So what I'm going to suggest you do is if you follow me on Twitter, go to my Twitter page, and you will find a mega thread of every image I took of every person I ran into at GDQ. All 33 images are there. And you will be able to scroll down and see, and you'll even be able to see who they are on Twitter, so you can follow them if you want. Probably find their Twitch page that way, so that you can follow these guys on Twitch. Give these guys some love. Every single one of these amazing people deserve so much respect. There was not a single person there, like I said, that didn't appreciate me being there. Even if they didn't really like show it outright, nobody made me feel like I didn't belong there at all. Nobody turned me away. Nobody said fuck you. Nobody said who the hell are you. It was, yeah, dude, glad you're here. Glad you made it.
This is one of those cases where, you know, Ace and I definitely answered this question. We were probably thinking we might want to come back, and by the end of the week, it has legitimately become, I think, a goal of ours that if a GDQ ever comes back to Orlando, like if the rumor is true and they come back to Orlando for AGDQ next year in 2021, you bet your asses 2 out of the 3 out of us are going to make that.
Fuck 2 out of 3. All 3 of us are going, fuck that noise. Ace said this to me, to us, after the finale was done and we were back in the hotel. And it's scary to think how true this is. This was better than MetroCon. And I don't say that lightly. I have nothing but love for MetroCon. You guys know this. But in terms of the feeling of being welcomed, the inclusion, and the overall just sense of I'm home, I felt that more at GDQ than I ever have at MetroCon. That shouldn't have been possible. I felt that more
than I felt at Ranger Stop.
Yeah. That shouldn't be possible. We should not feel that at home with people we hardly even fucking know. We know people at Ranger Stop, at Morphicon, at MetroCon. We know people there. We have friends and family at those cons. And yet we felt more at home at this last week. I will no longer have anything bad to say about GDQ. I've heard all the stories. I've heard, you know what? I'm going to call him out. Our buddy Aaron over at the monastery has had a hate boner for GDQ for a long fucking time. Aaron, you and I don't...
From many things, yeah.
Yeah, among many things. But he has made it very clear he has a hate boner for GDQ because of the supposed agenda that they push. But Aaron, if you ever see this, I'm going to say this right now, dude. No disrespect. But you will never hear me agree with you on GDQ ever again. I am defending Games Done Quick for one simple reason. Despite everything you may have heard, these guys are not the agenda-pushing assholes you think they are. And he tried during the week because he posted the story about the Final Fantasy runner. But now I see this for what it is. These guys have their reasons, and I see no reason to doubt them anymore. I am 100% a GDQ fan. And unless I see something to make me change that, it's going to be very hard to convince me otherwise.
Let's put it this way. The badge was $80. You figure in your own travel and everything else at your leisure. It's your mileage may vary. For me, it was a little bit over. Total it out about $1,500 Canadian to get the whole week done, plane, hotel, and everything. $1,600 more like. I'm not regretting that.
Yeah.
I've had moments of regret after Ranger Stop, and a little bit of salt over the Morphicon. I mean, WineCon. That's all I'm going to say there. I don't remember hearing one negative story other than being kicked off of the backup couch. For obvious reasons. I hold there's no negativity at all there. I don't remember having a bad day there.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations where you look at the stream and you're having a fun time. You're trolling Andy. You're laughing at Patty. You're looking in amazement at how the hell is that robot able to beat a Mario Maker 2 level of that difficulty. But it's nothing compared to being in that room, in that building. You know, we talk about cons. You know, the documentary called "In the Name of the Moon." Bunch of cosplayers. Someone who's a therapist or like he's a psychology major. He's talking about the con being transformative, being like a pilgrimage in a sense. You feel that walking in that building.
Mm-hmm.
Where and there's no security. You can't do this. You can't do that. They have rules. Let's say any other con. But you walk in, and you feel the excitement. And you were talking to Spike Vegeta about how Ace and I handled our first GDQ. And, you know, how much we just want to catch as many of the runs. We didn't get to do as much as we wanted to. But it's a case of there's a tinge of regret, but it's one of those. But we are bound and determined to try to do another one.
Yeah. Spike Vegeta told me this one of the times I talked with him. He said, most people at their first GDQ will do what Maddie and Ace did. They will go stay in the stream room most of the time and just watch the runs as much as they can. Because that's what you think you're supposed to do. I was one of those that caught on real fucking quick, mainly because I was kind of forced into this, that the real joy of going to GDQ, actually being there, if you've been there more than once, you stay out of the stream room. You don't go in there unless there's a big reason to. There's a reason why there's many runs where the audience is like, there's hardly anyone there. Because most of the people that are up during the day are actually out in the practice room or in the arcade, having fun, talking, playing games, getting to know people, just having a good fucking time.
And that's what I did over the initial D machine. That's when they caught up. I was like, I should not be over worried about going into that stream room as often as I did.
Yeah, that's when it clicked for you.
Lesson learned.
For me, it was when I started walking around and started finding everybody and getting all these images, all these selfies you see. It dawned on me that this is the real magic of GDQ. Is just going around and getting to know people. Like, you don't have to be a fan of the same games they are. You don't have to be a speedrunner. You don't have to be as dedicated to the games that these guys play as they are. You just have to be a gamer. And they will welcome you with open fucking arms. And that is where the real power of GDQ truly shines. So, if you ever get the chance to go to a GDQ, go. $80.
And do the mistakes Ace and I did. Go to the stream room, hang out, be in front of that camera, be a goof. Then you go to the arcade, you play your games there. And then you go to the practice room, you go to the World 9 booth, you ask them, what do you got? You get yourself a console, you get yourself a jank-ass TV. Hi, Spike Vegeta, how was that TV? What a piece of shit. You get that TV. You get in front of that TV, you play your video game, and then someone walks up to you, he says hi, and then you shoot the shit for 10 hours.
Yeah.
And then you go to a food place, there's more nerds, you get to shoot the shit, and then you do that for the entire fucking weekend. You have fun.
There is no obligation on what you're supposed to do at GDQ. None. You have your own fun. You do what you want to do there. Follow the rules, and anything else is open game. I had more fun out in the smoking area talking with Prolix and others than I probably did sitting in that stream room. That is not even a joke. Because I learned so much about the
in that
community
stream
that way.
room, but we also had fun in that arcade room.
Yeah.
And we had fun in that hotel room, shooting the breeze.
I'd go up to that My finale game. Some random person would come up and we'd do 2-player mode. And again, didn't matter what song we picked. Didn't matter why we picked it. Didn't matter what we were a fan of. We just went in there and had fun. I've played songs I would have never picked on my own because someone else picked it for me. And yet, I had a great time.
It's one thing to watch the stream, it is another to live it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's expensive, but it's a week. You do the math and you go like, oh yeah, that makes sense. The $80. Once you make it in, once you're in that hotel, once you're checked in and all that stuff happens, and it dawns on you that you're there and the hype happens, and it's the middle of the week, it's a little bit of a slog and you start having fun, that's when the magic happens. It is something to live. And it's got Ace and I thinking of flying to Minnesota for SGDQ.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not going to do it, but we're thinking about it.
Here's the truth. Here's my final thought before we wrap this up. By the end of the week, by Sunday morning, when we were done and we were all packing up to leave, my legs were killing me. My back was in absolute pain. Also, DJ Maestro 16.
DJ Maestro 16.
Welcome to the madness. Thank you for the follow. My back was in serious fucking pain. I had a knot in my leg. I actually had to go to my chiropractor yesterday because my back was hurting so bad. It's actually doing better now. But I was dying of pain. I could barely get up. You can ask Maddie and Ace. I could barely sit up. But you know what? I'd do it all over again after the week I had. That was, without a doubt in my mind, the greatest week I have ever had in my life. No worries.
Like I said in that final video, best con I've ever been at.
No worries.
Now, of course, tongue in cheek with the SCU joke, but that's no joke. That's legit truth.
No worries. No stress. No obligations. Just
video
fun.
games.
Just fun. It is, without a doubt in my mind, that Games Done Quick is one of the best conventions you could ever go to. And considering the cons I've been to, that is saying a lot. So, with that, I think it's time for us to wrap this up. But hopefully you guys now have a better understanding of how much fun Games Done Quick is. And hopefully I've encouraged you to watch the streams. Go, next time they come around, middle of summer, watch the Twitch stream. Hell, we'll probably do a watch party together.
We'll be back here with you folks, wishing we'd be there again too.
Yeah. We'll watch, we'll joke. And you know what? If you can, donate a few bucks. You got a $5 sitting in your wallet, burning through a hole in your wallet? Give them a $5.
You want a t-shirt? You want to support the place? Go to theyeti.com. They got a thing.
You got more?
They got sponsors.
Yeah. Try going for some of those prize incentives. See if you can win something. Hell, I got a free game from them one time. You lose nothing by watching a GDQ stream, but you gain so much. I now understand how these guys can have so much fun doing this event, because I've now experienced that fun for myself. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here tonight on this special edition of RVTalks. We hope you guys had a fun time. We hope you guys have learned a lot. Hopefully you've learned to appreciate GDQ as much as we have. Go check out the VODs at Games Done Quick on YouTube. Give them a search. Give them a sub. Show them some love. Speaking of, if you enjoyed tonight's stream and you haven't done so already, make sure you give us a follow to keep up with all our streams and more. And if you can, subscribe to get access to our exclusive Twitch emotes, our VIP Discord channel, and our loyalty badges. You see Akira Coops rocking there in the chat. Speaking of Discord, make sure you give us a Discord boost. Better audio quality for our streams and perks for you guys as well. Don't want to miss out on that. And of course, for all other commands, look down in the description below here on the Twitch page. You'll see all of those. Use them, learn them, love them. Gotta love it. But in the meantime, we want to thank you guys for joining us as always here on RVTV. On behalf of Matty J.
My name's Mandy J. Remind you to help professional wrestling support your independent promotion as soon as possible. Since I did the whole the best con I've ever been at, GDQ.
Indeed. I'm the Shades, and we will see you guys next time. Rock on!
Special thanks to my patrons like Voice and our Frozen Travelers. Subscribe today to make these streams even better.